Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Indie Investor Pod. I'm just excited to just continue talking about food. It's one of our favorite things to talk about, one of our favorite things to discuss. One of the things I like a lot about this city as well. I travel a lot, and one of the things I do when I travel is I always look up what are the good places to eat and stuff. So I'm really excited to know and to even be able to talk about some of this stuff because I know when you can travel to Indianapolis, like you can actually find some really good places and people could travel here for some of the food stuff, which I didn't think was really possible. I know growing up, I never thought about like, oh, I want to go to Indianapolis for some food or anything like that. And even when I kind of moved out here, I was like trying to find all the cool spots, and I definitely found some, but I feel like they're popping up a little bit more and more. So I know Randy, you and Kimmy enjoy going around too, just finding local spots, some new spots, and things like that. So what do you think about just like just the city of Indianapolis in general when it comes to the food scene? It's not really known to that, but I think it
Yeah.
deserves some credibility, right?
Yeah, it's definitely been a hot spot for, new restaurants, even like local restaurants or just like some of those hot chains coming into town. But yeah, every time I kind of like do some research and I want to try to find a new place to eat, there's always like a handful of things that pop up, and I never even knew they were there because they come so often now. So it's just Indy's becoming one of those places where if whatever kind of food you want, you can find it somewhere, and there's more and more like of that stuff coming in now. So it's no, it's a good it's turning into a foodie city. So I'm excited.
There we go. There we go. So on last episode, we talked about just kind of the basics, the generalities. So like if you want to go for a high-end dinner or you want to go for a coffee and that type of stuff. So today we're going to focus on a little bit of just like kind of the specialties. So when you come to Indianapolis, you hear the tenderloin. If you want a tenderloin, where do you go? That type of thing. So we're going to kind of break in down by food. And yes, again, we are going to leave out some food items. And yes, we are going to leave out even some of our favorite places and stuff like that. We're going to say, hey, we're looking at this. If you are an investor, you're coming to Indianapolis, where should you hit up? Where should you go if you want these certain types of things? So not trying to make anybody mad or feel anybody left out or anything, but this is kind of our list that we kind of came through. So the first one on the list that we're going to talk about is the tenderloin. So if you come in, you want a pork tenderloin breaded sandwich, just some deliciousness on a
Good
bun,
old Indiana tenderloin.
some good old Indiana tenderloin and stuff like that. Now this one, I dug into this one. This is one that I kind of, I've done some research on. I've sampled a lot around town and things. And this is kind of like a lot of these were kind of specific to like, Marion County, digging into Hamilton County. So this one's like kind of all over. So like if you come to Central Indiana, this is where you want to go to Tenderloin. So this is a list that I came up with. So you have the Oasis Diner in Plainfield, which is a cool experience to go out there to that diner in general. So the Edwards Drive-In on Sherman, amazing tenderloin there. The Mug in Greenfield, the Mayberry Cafe in Danville, and then the Edinburgh Diner down in Edinburgh. So I'm kind of all over the map right here, but
Wow.
as the ones I've tasted and researched and kind of things like that, these are the ones that kind of really stand out to me. They're also have that nostalgic feeling to it, and then also just kind of the amazement too. So when you go down to like the Edinburgh Diner, you actually get like this ridiculously huge pork tenderloin that the bun is like maybe a sixth of what the
Yeah.
actual tenderloin is and stuff like that. So it's falling off your plate. It's all over the place. And so some of these they are the just massive ones too, and then some of them are just like just deliciousness, like the breading at the Mayberry Cafe. I think is just delicious and stuff too. So Randy, what do you think about that list? And anything
Yeah, I think you did
throw
a good
there?
job on good job on getting outside of going to those small towns. Those small towns, I will say, probably have the best tenderloins.
Yeah, agreed.
Um, I don't know why it is, but that's kind of his. And then my requirement is that the bigger the better. So like you said, like the bun's always just like a fraction of tenderloin. So it's a good tenderloin when you have to chop it up and then stack it so that it fits all in the bun. Or you can just eat with your fork and knife. But
Yeah.
that's a great list there. I had one of my favorites is Muldoon's in Carmel,
Mm-hmm.
downtown Carmel. It's an Irish pub, Irish restaurant, but great tenderloin there. That is one that comes in size of your head times two. And then also, I've had the other place I've had a tenderloin is the Friendly Tavern in Zionsville. Um,
That's my local spot right there. That's
yeah,
it.
I knew you would like that one, but great tenderloin there as well. But yeah, so Indiana is kind of known as the tenderloin. You have to try a tenderloin when you come here. So
Yeah.
it actually took me a while to try one, but
Yeah.
once I did, I was like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, like I'm a grill man. Like I used to
Yeah.
work a grill like in Ohio, and our tenderloin sandwich was like just grilled, and I love that thing. That's one of my favorite things. But then I realized that like if you're gonna do a tenderloin, you got to go all out. You got to get the breading, you got to go, you got to get deep fried, all that stuff. Now the question is, Randy, how do you get your tenderloin? What do you put on your tenderloin sandwich?
I keep it pretty simple for me. Lettuce, tomato, but then I have to have mustard on there. I don't do mayonnaise.
Yeah, so I go mayo and mustard, some
Yeah.
pickles, and then some
I do
and some
pickles. Yeah.
lettuce. So
Yeah.
I'll throw some tomato on there as well. But yeah, good stuff. All right, moving on. I think wings is a great one to put on this list of just like, hey, where you can get good wings here in Indianapolis. And yes, we do have like B-dubs and things like that, but there are some really good wings out there that are some places that these places are kind of known for their wings and stuff too. So I kind of did this a little different way. I broke this down, not like, hey, the top 5 places or anything like that. I broke it down of like, what type of wings do I want? So if I want traditional wings, I'm going to go to Keystone Sports Review off of Keystone, down like Broad Ripple, Glendale area, right around there. That's where I'm going to go if I want just traditional wings. Like just if they're not breaded or anything like that, you just throw them in the fryer. They're fried up, come out great. Some bunch of different sauces and things to put on there. If I want breaded tenderloins, where I'm going to go is one of the places that Randy just mentioned. One of my favorite places, the Friendly Tavern in Zionsville. So it's basically just like you're eating just a bunch of fried chicken. They have the dipping sauces on the sides. They don't actually coat them and things like that, but they are ridiculous too. And your order comes in like 2 dozens. So it's a great place to check out some wings. For if you want some little different, but they do something called the Herman style wing. I consider it like a grilled wing. It is at the Ale Emporium. Amazing wings. I think
Yeah.
I think if I had to rate my wings in Indianapolis, they'd actually be my number one. The Ale Emporium, they're great. What they do is they deep fry them, they pull them out, then they put them on the grill, and then kind of the juices and things just get sucked right in. They call it the Herman style. So if you go there, get the Herman style wings. I prefer just the buffalo ones. They do one they're famous for is called the Hermanaki. It's
Yeah.
teriyaki Herman style, but I prefer the buffalo on there. And then another one, I put smoked wings on the list. So I think if you want some good smoked wings, I'm going to go to Fat Dan's. I think Fat Dan's has some of the best smoked wings. They got one down there close to Mass Ave. They got one in Broad Ripple. They got one up here in Carmel. But Fat Dan's have just amazing wings and stuff too. So Randy, why don't you grade me on those wings right there? What do you think about that? Anything I missed? Anything I should add?
No, I think those are all my favorite in Indianapolis and around. So I think out of all those you listed, I think you get the most bang for your buck at Ale. I
Yeah.
think you get I mean, the portion sizes and, for price and everything are great there. But yeah, Ale would be my favorite off that list. KSR is really close behind. So I love going there. It's just small little bar in Broad Ripple, but nice people and pretty laid back. And yeah, the smoked wings at Fat Dan's, man. I had those for the first time like a little over a year ago and fell in love. So yeah, you cannot go wrong anywhere you go for wings on that list.
There we go. I think that was our first lunch meeting when you joined the team was
Yeah,
Dan's Wings.
and
So
I think I ordered wings.
yeah, there we go.
Yep.
So that's probably what kept him on the team. Is how good their wings were. So next on the list, we're talking about burgers. So the best burger. So if you want a good burger here in Indianapolis, some of the places you can definitely go. So I could go all over the list with this place. I mean, there's a ton of places to get a really good burger, but kind of my top of the list things are I think the working man's friend is just your good old like grilled burger. Like it's just you can just taste the greasiness and just the juices coming out of it. Amazing there. A local favorite, local chain is Bub's.
Hmm.
Great burgers there. Really cool place to go as well. So it's kind of known here. It's been on all like the shows too, like Diners, Drives, and Dives, all those places on Food Network and things. So another one is the 317 Burger is a great place, local place, local to Indy, good place to get burgers there. Another one is Big Dan's, kind of out on the east side. It's kind of this little like you would never know where it was, or kind of you drive by and like, what is that place? Is it open? But they got good burgers. They keep it basic. Their menu is like 5 things. It's like 5 different types of burgers and then fries. Yeah, Big Dan's is really good. And then another one I put on there is the Indy's Burger Joint down in Greenwood. Um, was down every time I go down there, I end up at this place and stuff like that. But they have really good burgers. They're kind of like specialty burgers, so you get to kind of pick of like, hey, if I want, a Hawaiian burger or a barbecue burger, that type of stuff. They have like a mixture of a little bit of everything. So,
Yeah.
so that's my burger list. Randy, anything to add to that one, man?
It's a great list. One I haven't tried yet, so full disclaimer. But the new hot spot on the west side, the California burger. I mean, I'll try it pretty here soon. Right now, it's a serious waiting. 2 hours to get a burger, and
Yeah.
to me, I'm like, hey, I'd rather go to somewhere else on that list than
Yeah.
wait 2 hours. But that is the new hot spot here in Indy, so I'm gonna try that out, and I'll report back to Brian on my results.
Yeah. So also throw in there, we talked about this on the last episode, Mug and Bun. They have a great burger as well. But I think every time I go there, I try to get something different just to try the different, the Coney dog and all different kinds of stuff. So, but good burger there. But yeah, California burger is the hot trendy one right now. So, all right. Then next, let's talk about some pizza. So there's some good pizza places here in Indianapolis. Some really good places to get pizza if that's what you're looking for. My favorite, like number one, like I put it over everything, is Some Guys Pizza. Like I love it. They have one in Carmel. They have one down in Broad Ripple area. Amazing pizza, really cool place. Great date night spot as well. Either location. So that's my number one, and all these other ones kind of come a little bit secondary, but still really, really good. The other ones I have on my list is Napoli's. So if you want a good like wood fire pizza, like specialty pizza, Napoli's is great. They have a couple different locations around here. Giacomo Upper Crust. They have a couple different locations around town as well. Really good pizza. Whenever we get down to the Syria building, we usually hang out either Giacomo's before or after the meeting, but really, really good pizza. Cool place to hang out as well. Another place that's pretty famous as well here in Indianapolis is Basbo's. Really good pizza, and actually they're like specialty pizza. What they're known for is like they're like 4 cheese pizza, which is kind of funny. I'm like a person like throw as many toppings on there as you can get and stuff, but
Give me the meats.
yeah, give me the meats. Yeah, so Basbo's really, really good, well known. That's kind of place. The one up here in Carmel is like right on the Monon, so a really cool place to go to and just kind of hang out and people watch and stuff on the Monon there. The other one, I had to throw this in there because it's not really like one of my favorite pizzas. I like it a lot, but it's not one of my favorites. But for what it is here in Indianapolis, I think it's just a staple, and I think that it's like what they have all over the place. And I think what they've done for a lot of different locations is really cool, and they're really neat places to go into and sit down and enjoy. And they do have some really good pizza. It's Greeks. There are Greeks all over the place. Like I said, it's kind of ended up being like a staple here in Indianapolis of some pizzas, and they have them all over the place. So every little neighborhood kind of has a Greeks and things like that, but a really cool place. I do think they definitely need to be on this list, even though it's not like, hey, this is my favorite pizza of all time, but just the location and what they mean to Indianapolis and that they do have good pizza, definitely got to throw Greeks on there.
Yeah, love that. So a couple I had on my list to add to that is Pearl Street Pizzeria downtown. It's a really neat place. It kind of looks like you're in an alleyway, but it's actually Pearl Street, and that's what it's named after. And it's a good bar and pizza place downtown. Walking distance to Bankers Life Field outside. I always go there, like before like Pacers games and stuff. And then Goodfellas on Mass Ave. So fun fact on that one. So first of all, that pizza is very good. If anyone follows like the Barstool Sports, that's where Dave Portnoy went, and actually I think that's been one of his highest grades that Goodfellas got. So if you're into that, you can trust his rating. But great pizza there, and that's on Mass Ave.
Awesome stuff, man. I am getting hungry as we're doing this episode. And
I
stuff
know,
like
because
that,
we're covering all my favorite foods.
So, all right, next I want to talk about barbecue, and this is kind of one of those things. Honestly, when I started making this list, I left this off of the list because I don't really think of Indianapolis being a good barbecue spot. Then once I got into it, I was like, oh man, I need to mention King Ribs on here, and I need to mention Tracks. Like there were some places I was like, oh, they definitely do need to be mentioned. So when it comes to barbecue, King Ribs is kind of known as like, hey, this is the place to go in Indianapolis. They have a line, out the door and stuff like that. So really, really good place. One of my favorites that I've had like kind of the best like sampler platter of barbecue is Tracks Barbecue out in McCordsville. Really, really good stuff. It's just like even my wife was like, she's not like a big smoky person or anything like that. She's like, this is delicious. This is good. So definitely recommend Tracks right there. One of our favorite places to have meetings, especially if we're down like kind of the Broad Ripple area, is Half Liter. Good place to
Yeah.
get a beer from Big Lug Brewing and stuff, but also they just have amazing barbecue. You walk by there and you smell just the smokiness and the fat and everything like that, and the barbecue. It's delicious. Half liter definitely needs to be on here. Another one is Big Hoffa's
Mhm.
up in Westfield. So Big Hoffa's is you drive past this building, it looks like a big pirate ship and stuff like that. They got a pirate theme going on there and stuff, and they're doing a lot of events around town now as well. But Big Hoffa's is definitely some legit barbecue here. And then instead of picking another place of barbecue, I actually picked two food trucks just to add on here as well because they got some good barbecue. One of them is the Beach Bum, and the other one is the Old Gold. So both have just really good food trucks here in Indianapolis with the barbecue. Beach Bum is pretty cool too because they do some stuff just like it originates like California beach bum type thing. So they also have like some fake barbecue if you want to say it. So if you don't want the meat or anything like that, and you want like the vegan style, they do some stuff with jackfruit over there that's pretty cool. Which I just had to try it, and it was pretty good. So I would recommend. I still like my pork and beef barbecue and stuff like that, but they had some good options as well. So, Randy, how about you? Anything else you want to add to that for the barbecue? I know you're a big Hoffa's guy, but
I know you took that from my list, so that's a common theme. But no, I'm gonna actually go far out from Indy here, and I'm gonna do Big Dogs up here in Cicero.
yeah.
So Big Dogs Barbecue. You go into that place, you can get your food to go. You come out and you smell like a campfire. It smells amazing. Yeah. So Big Dogs in Cicero, and Brian, I think you'll appreciate this. So Som Smokehouse in Pendleton is some of the best barbecue I've had. So it's actually a restaurant that is connected to the golf course in Pendleton, Fall Creek Golf
All
Course.
right.
It's like it's their like clubhouse or restaurant, but it's a Som restaurant. If anyone's familiar, Soms are everywhere in Indianapolis. They got a Som Smokehouse in Pendleton, and I actually recently ate there after playing a round of golf, and it was amazing.
Awesome. I will have to put that on my list of places to check out because I have not been out there yet. Although Psalms just has amazing food and all their things. I almost put them on the list of tenderloin places too because they
Yeah,
got a good tenderloin.
if you put the name Som in there, it's gonna be good food.
Yeah. So good stuff. All right. Next, let's talk about some sushi. So um, if you come to Indianapolis, there are some really good places that you get some sushi. I know Randy mentioned one of his favorites, Sheba, on the last episode that we did up there in Westfield. It's a really, really good place. Just an awesome date spot, awesome place to go. Sheba's definitely up there. Some other ones that I put on my list are 45 Degrees down off of Mass Ave. Really good sushi there. Really cool place, kind of on the corners. You can sit out and like kind of check out everything that's going on Mass Ave. We usually hit that up before concerts and things at the Murat down there. Also Blue Sushi. We talked about the Ironworks area the other day with more provision, and there's some breakfast places and Daredevil Brew Hall and stuff like that. But Blue Sushi is an amazing place to go. It's a cool atmosphere, cool place to go. They got an amazing Sunday happy hour. It lasts all day on Sunday, so definitely check that out there. Good place. And then Sakura is this place in Broad Ripple that you would never probably go there to be like, oh, this is where I want to go get sushi, but it's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah, so
Really,
good.
really good. So I used to teach down in Broad Ripple area. One of my buddies said it's he and his wife's favorite place, and he kept trying to get me to go there. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to go to that place to get sushi. I was mistaken because it is delicious. Amazing stuff there. And then the Tegri Bistro is also a great place. It's kind of a little bit more upscale, kind of specialty stuff. But they have a bunch of different types of seafood and just Japanese dishes. But definitely their sushi needs to be mentioned as well. Really cool spot there. So, Randy, anything else to add?
No, I actually don't have anything else to add because my top two are there. Obviously, last episode I brought up Chiba, and you heard how much I kept it in my heart. I stand behind them, and then yeah, Sakura. That was like you said. It's just a small little building, but some of the best sushi in Indianapolis for sure.
Awesome, awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Let's talk a little bit about Mexican food then. So we have two different categories. So we have a Mexican food category, then we have international food category. But I feel like Mexican just has to be by itself
It's in its
because
category.
when you go there,
Yeah.
everybody's always looking for tacos when you go. So could be Mexican / taco places and stuff. That's one of my things why I always look to travel. Is like, hey, where's a cool little taco cart or something like that to get some tacos. Place I put on there for Mexican is the tamale place. Um, it's really well known here in Indianapolis. Some amazing food, some amazing people that own that and work that and everything. So Tamale Place definitely should be checked out. And then I'm going to mess up how to say this. I say it differently every time I say it, but the Bugamilibus is over on, it's like, I just butchered that, and I apologize to whoever owns it and does it. I've never known how to pronounce it. I don't think I've ever heard anybody actually pronounce it and stuff like that,
I don't
but
know.
over Castleton area, really good Mexican food and things like that. I've been there a few times, but really, really good. Tacos 46, basically any kind of taco that you want, they can make it for you and stuff. Delicia is a kind of a more of a kind of a higher end Mexican food place but they have some amazing dishes. Their mole sauce is really, really good. Definitely check that out. And then one of my favorite places, this is actually I think this might be one of my favorite places to go for tacos, and it's because of the deal that they have. But Ponchos over on, it is off of Allisonville Road, Fishers area. On Mondays, they have dollar tacos,
Dude,
and it
yeah.
is legit. So really good. You can get some chicken or beef, shredded or ground beef tacos, but then they just can be all different kinds of sides and stuff like that you can put on there and things like that. So really cool place, really good people
Yeah.
too that work there and stuff like that. So it's what I consider kind of some authentic Mexican tacos and things, but super great deal too. So I had to throw it on the list. So Randy,
Yeah.
how about you? Anything that you want to put on here?
There was one that our good friend Ronnie Reese mentioned down off of Keystone and Fall Creek, Paco's Tequila.
Yeah.
He, he claims that's the best Mexican food in the city, so I would definitely put that on the list to try. But yeah, there's a lot of places, especially northeast, south, west. I mean, you'll find a good Mexican spot anywhere. And it's always a bonus when they have a good margarita to go with it.
There we go. There we go. So I think if you want that like the Mexican restaurant that every city has, the one probably in Indianapolis that's known a little bit more. And I don't know if it's all the same owners, but La Hacienda, there's a million of those
Wow,
around
yeah,
around town. But I
I
don't know if they're the same owners or anything like that, but that's kind of always like up here in Carmel. That's like the go-to one to go to. The one down in Broad, or like kind of close to Broad Ripple area, Devington. That's like kind of like, oh, hey, you go to La Hacienda over in Avon, where a lot of people go. So if you want that like kind of that Mexican restaurant that like every city has or anything like that, that might be a good one to check out as well. So moving on then with kind of the international flavor. So moving on from tacos, we'll just talk about international places in general. So my new favorite place to go is Bica Cafe in Noblesville. Awesome. So my wife is Portuguese. This is a Portuguese restaurant, Portuguese cafe. Some amazing coffee, some amazing food. I just had the best chicken and waffles of my life there over the weekend. Deliciousness. So if you are looking for some Portuguese food and or something like that, definitely Bica Cafe is definitely the place to check out. It's one of my new favorite places in downtown. Cool little area there. Next, so Bosphorus Istanbul Cafe is a Turkish restaurant. They have some amazing lamb dishes, some amazing gyros and stuff like that. So you can definitely check that out as well. Um, and then Machu Picchu is a Peruvian restaurant. Some of the best food I've ever had. So really, really good there. Definitely recommend checking that out. It's one of those. I don't know how to pronounce anything on the menu or anything, but it is delicious. Everything I've ever got there. That one comes highly recommended from my wife. She's been eating there multiple times too. Um, there's quite a few pretty good Greek restaurants here in Indianapolis. I think my favorite one is the Greek Islands. Really good gyros, really good tzatziki sauce, really good just stuff like that. That you want your authentic Greek food. That's definitely where I would go. And then another one I want to mention too is Chapati. It's a Pakistani restaurant, and they have some really good dishes. That a lot of vegan dishes too. A lot of vegetarian and vegan dishes out there as well. But some really good stuff there. So definitely, those are some restaurants that I think are definitely worth mentioning that you should hit up. If you want some of that international flavor that Indianapolis does have to offer. I know a lot of people when they come to Indy, they don't think of that. They think of the tenderloin. They think of, burger, pizza, that kind of thing. But definitely some good international restaurants as well. And definitely I'll put another plug in here for Bika because that's like, hey, I'm like always like, hey, I want to go there again and stuff. So
Yeah.
great stuff there. Randy, how about you? Any international ones you want to add on here?
I mean, that's one category, Brian. Like I don't go to
We'll get
enough.
Randy to venture out a little bit here
Yeah,
on some of
I
these places and stuff.
that's what
So
I rely to you on. So we could set up some meetings at some of those places. But I trust you when it comes to that stuff. I know you and your wife go out a lot and visit those places. So if you stand behind them, I'm sure they're good.
there you
But
go.
yeah, that's one
Yeah.
category I need to.
I know,
level up in.
I know you can't go wrong with this day, which is the lamb kebab from Bosphorus. So that's some good stuff right there. So
All right.
now that we've talked about all this, like just deliciousness that, comes with cheese and mayo and all this stuff, let's talk a little bit about some health and wellness options. So there are some pretty good healthy options here in Indy as well. Some good stuff, whether you're vegetarian, whether you're vegan, whether you are pescatarian, any of that stuff. There's some pretty good options out here for you. Some of my favorites, definitely worth mentioning and checking out. Garden Table. There's a couple different areas around town here, but just really, really good food. Kind of whatever options you're looking for, they can definitely help you out there. Three Carrots down in Fountain Square is kind of known. That's the local spot over there. Like you are looking to eat healthy and looking for some really, really good food. They're the type of place that you go in there and you're like, I could never eat vegan, or I can never eat vegetarian. They can change your mind. Like, okay, these are some good dishes. So definitely recommend that. Ezra's Enlightened Cafe, same thing too. They're just taking some of these things and just turning into, leaving out some of the stuff that you necessarily shouldn't be eating, or like, I need this on my dish or anything like that. They can kind of do some substitutes that you would never even know once you're eating. Public Greens is another place too. There's a few of those around town, but Public Greens, especially one in Broad Ripple, really, really cool place to eat down there. But just some amazing salads, some amazing things they're doing with food. It's pretty cool too. They have like their garden set up, so they're like picking out like fresh from their garden to be able to incorporate into all these dishes, which is pretty awesome. And this one isn't necessarily like a restaurant food place, but I think it's definitely worth mentioning. It's a city market, the 22 Juice Bar. They have just some really, really good juices that will get you going and get you energized for the day. So definitely recommend those. So Randy, how about you, man? Anything on your list?
Yeah, a couple of my favorite ones. We are in Carmel, actually, close to each other. So we've got Vitality Bowls
Yeah.
in Carmel. So you go there for like some healthy smoothies or acai bowls. Great stuff there. And then next to them, Main Street Poke. Um, I tried that the first time and I was a little unsure, right? But I ventured out and ended up loving it. So it's
Yeah.
very, very light, healthy, fresh seafood that make it into a bowl, and basically sushi in a bowl. That's how I would explain it.
There you go. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's move away from the healthy stuff again, and let's get back into let's talk about donuts. I think if you come to Indianapolis, you wake up in the morning. I know when I travel, I like to find the donut shops and find some good places there and stuff. So I'm always looking for coffee and some donuts. When you come to Indianapolis, the one that you're always going to hear, and you should always hear, is Long's. Long's donuts are amazing. They are as advertised. They are very, very good. So highly recommend there. Long's, and then some other ones that I definitely recommend as well. One of my favorites is Titus Bakery. They originated up in sorry, can't think of it. Lebanon. Sorry about that. I'll try to edit that out or whatever. They originated up in Lebanon. They have one in Westfield now, but really, really good. I highly recommend the apple fritter. It is enormous. You can share it with like 4 people, or just take it down with a cup of coffee if you're like me. But it is delicious. Another one that I think is really, really cool, and my wife says is her favorite donut in Indianapolis, is Quack Daddy Donuts. They originated out in Pendleton. They now have one in Westfield as well. Westfield's just getting all the little small chains here for donuts and things, but
What they do.
it's a cool experience too. You can take the kids there and things. It's a good place to like kind of, you basically get a form, you fill it out of, hey, here's your donut. You can put whatever you want on it. I usually go with the maple bacon, and then the chocolate peanut butter is usually my combination I go with. But their donut just in general is pretty cool. Actually, the first time I ever went to Quack Daddy Donuts, they like took me behind the scenes and showed me how the donuts are made, and that was kind of cool and stuff. So
Like it was your birthday or something.
it was kind of neat. So another one that I think is this is like, these donuts are so good, but they're like so like decadent. Like if you get a donut, you're just like, you're just like your calories are burnt for the day. You know that you like need to take a nap afterwards and things like that. But Rebel Donuts, they have one in Noblesville. They have a couple of them around town now and stuff like that. But they have like whatever specialty donut you can think of. You're like, oh, I wish they make a like chocolate shortcake donut. Like they probably make it. So they have all different kinds of combinations, stuff like that. Really, really good. And then another one that is kind of just popping up kind of all over the place is Rise and Roll Bakery. Really good donuts. I know Alicia got those to take to her team the other day and stuff like that. But not only donuts, they also, I think they have the best Danish in town. So if you want to check out a
Bonus.
Danish or anything like that. But yeah, so Rise and Roll Bakery, definitely really good too. They they're an Amish company that they basically make all this stuff. An Amish family makes all this stuff, and then they sell it at these regional bakeries. So pretty cool there. So Randy, any other donut places you want to add?
Yeah. So you definitely had turned me on to Quack Daddy Donuts. You made me try those the first time. Definitely great. And then Titus was on my list as well. Also, one of my wife's favorites is Taylor's Bakery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a couple locations around there. So Taylor's is there. They have donuts. They have other things as well. And then, so help me out, Brian. Is Jack's Donuts a local, or is that not a local thing? Because that would be on my list that'd be on my daughter's list. Jack's
Yeah.
Donuts.
So Jack's are pretty good. I don't know if that's a chain or just a local chain or not, but those are pretty good donuts as
Yeah,
well.
because those will pop up everywhere as well. But
Yeah.
I've only seen them here in Central Indiana, so I'm not sure if that's a local thing or not.
Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely they can be on the list. So they're pretty darn good. So, all right, I got one more list for you, and we'll get you out of here real quick. We got ice cream / desserts. I kind of just put those together because a lot of those places will kind of have some of those together. So when it comes to ice cream, I think some of the best ice cream definitely in town is Bricks down in Broad Ripple. Great place. Get some Bricks. If you might have to wait in line for a while on a nice day and stuff like that, but then get some Bricks and walk the moon on. Definitely is good there. Also wanted to mention this one because it's outside of Indy, but they have a ton of cows. So they have their own dairy, they have their own ice cream. They make it right there. But Fair Oaks, up off of 65, headed towards Chicago. Fair Oaks, I think definitely needs to be mentioned for just how great their ice cream is. Another one that's pretty cool is TJ's Sweet Tooth. This place is kind of like on 86, just inside the loop up on the north side. And every time I go by there, it is jam packed. It is whatever kind of treat that you want of like, hey, I wanted them to put ice cream in a bowl and then put like gummy bears and sprinkles and then a banana, like whatever you can think of, whatever combination you can think of, they have it on their menu. They do a bunch of just a little different crazy stuff. So that's a kind of a cool place to go to. Definitely want to have the kids too. Like, hey, you want some like just neat ice cream treats? It'd be a good one to go to. And then I had to mention some things that necessarily weren't ice cream, but just desserts in general. Cake Bake, 100%. Cake Bake is amazing. So there's one down in Broad Ripple, one up here in Carmel as well. But it is the perfect like date spot as well. They have food and things as well, but just to get a cake, great cakes, cool atmosphere, really neat place to go. Had to throw Mrs. Wicks on here as well. So Mrs. Wicks, it's actually out in Winchester, which is like on the far, like kind of west side of Indiana. It's like an hour and a half from Indianapolis and stuff, but it is kind of like the local spot. They make their homemade pies. It's been open forever. I think over 100 years and stuff. But they are now starting to put them in stores and things like that. Some of the local stores here, but you want your sugar pie. That is like kind of, that's a good place to, or the sugar cream pie. That is like kind of the original place that started doing that here in Indianapolis. So definitely good there. And I definitely have to mention this place as well. It's one of my favorite places to go, but it's called No Label at the Table. It is in downtown Carmel. It is a place that they do, basically it's like it's gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, all that free stuff that basically you want to get out of there. It's really cool what this lady did. She created this business to help her autistic son out. All those things basically kind of work against the autistic mind and stuff like that. So she basically took all that stuff out to get him to eat a little healthier and all that stuff. And then he's like their main chef, which is really, really cool. They have a handful of autistic kids that work in there as well, but their stuff is amazing. It's really, really good. So definitely recommend that. So Randy, how about you, man? Anything else you want to add on there?
Yeah, a couple of places up north. So Handel's Ice Cream. They're kind of throughout Hamilton County, but great homemade ice cream. There's always a line wrapped around the building any Handles you go to. And then my new favorite here in my town is Alexander's.
Alexander's, and they have one of those in Noblesville as well. Yeah.
Yep. So that's a good one as well. But I think when it comes to ice cream in Indiana, man, I think the further out you get, I think that's when you're going to get the good stuff, right? Because it's going to be coming right from that farm. There's going to be a farm nearby that's making that ice cream, and that's when you get the best ice cream there is. That's why you mentioned Fair Oaks.
What I want is, and you guys maybe can help me out, that if you're listening, message me if you know of a place where you can get like just a little cone and then the swirl or the soft serve ice cream, they just stack up. That's what I'm looking for here in Indianapolis. Have not found it yet. Let me know where I can get that. So Randy, my friend, we are out of time. I know we've talked a lot about a lot of food, and I made myself hungry. I need to go eat now. So, but
Same.
thanks a lot for listening in to this episode of the Indie Investor Pod. Let us know how we can help you out in any way. Hit us up at brian@simplewholesaling.com or randy@simplewholesaling.com. And with that, we will see you guys next time on the Indie Investor Pod. Take care.